Good day, everyone. Welcome again to our final coaching on the licensure examination for teachers in general mathematics. I'm Julius B. Spadero, your lecturer. Okay, so let's start. The difference between gross profit and cost of goods sold is known as A. Markdown, B. Discount, C. Net profit, and D. Invoice price. The correct answer is net profit. Net profit is the difference between gross profit and cost of goods sold. Down means a reduction in price or the devaluation of the price. Discount is a deduction from the usual cost of something, typically given for prompt or advance payment or the special category of buyers. Invoice price is the initial price or initial price that the manufacturer charges the dealer. 15,000 pesos in the bank. After a year, he expects it to earn 750 pesos. What is the rate of interest? The answer for this problem is letter C, which is 5%. Here is the solution. The formula is I equals P times R times T. I means the value of the interest, P is the principal, R is the rate of interest, and T is the time and year. So substitute the value of I, which is 750, and substitute the value of P, which is 15,000, then times R, times substitute the value of T, which is 1 year. Then divide both sides by 15,000. So we have here 750 divided by 15,000 equals R. And if we divide 750 by 15,000, we have 0.05. So that's the value of R. But we need to change the decimal to percent. So what we are going to do is just to move 2 decimal places going to the right and then put a percent sign. Therefore, we are given 5% as the value of the rate of interest. The greatest common divisor of 91, 39, and 78 is blank. A. 24, B. 13, C. 39, D. 91. One way to solve this is by getting the prime factorization of 91, 39, and 78. The answer for this problem is letter B. And the prime factorization of 91 is 13 times 7. The prime factorization of 39 is 13 times 3. And for 78, we have 13 times 3 times 2. So the greatest common divisor here, obviously, is 13. The property of real numbers, which describes parenthesis 5 plus 6, close parenthesis, plus 3, equals 3 plus open parenthesis 5 plus 6, close parenthesis, is blank. A. Commutative, B. Associative, C. Distributive, and D. Reflexive. Correct answer is associative. We have the commutative property or commutative property. A plus B is just equal to B plus A. It is also applicable doon sa multiplication. If you are given A times B, this is just the same as B times A. Associative property, you are given A plus B plus C. A plus B is enclosed in parentheses. That is equal to A plus B plus C. And this time, B plus C is enclosed in parentheses. Okay? So, that's it. Applicable din ito sa multiplication like A times B times C. And you enclose A times B in parentheses. That is also equal to A times B times C. with a parenthesis for BC. And then we have distributive property. You are going to distribute and multiply. A times B will give you AB. A times C will give you AC. And of course, the reflexive property is A equals A, or the number is equal to itself. So in this problem, the correct answer is letter B, associative property. We have next problem. Simplify 6 minus 3 minus 2 times 5 minus the quantity negative 10 plus 7. So the answer for this problem is letter D. So we are going to use the concept of the PEMDAS. Okay, so we have here the parentheses or the grouping symbol first. So in this case, we need to simplify these terms. So we are given 6 minus 3 minus 2 times 5 plus 10 plus 7. So 5 minus negative 10 will give you 5 plus 10. Okay, and then we simplify here. We know that 5 plus 10 is 15. And then after that, we simplify the terms inside the brace, but we follow the MDAS, so multiplication first. So negative 2 times 15 will give you negative 30, and then you can use the AS, or the addition or subtraction. So 6 minus negative 27, because 3 minus 30 is negative 27, and then plus 7. And then you subtract 27 by 7, but you copy the sign of the bigger absolute value, which is 27. So negative 27 plus 7 is negative 20. And still, this is preceded by negative sign, so you change the sign inside the parentheses or the grouping symbol. So you are given 6 plus 20. And 6 plus 20 will give us 26. Which of the following is the smallest prime number greater than 200? So letter A, 214, letter B, 205, letter C, 201, and letter D, 211. So for letter A, obviously that is divisible by 2. So therefore 214 is a composite number. Then 205 is divisible by 5, so another composite number. Letter C is divisible by 3. So another composite number. Divisible by 3 because if you add the digit 2 and 1, it will give you 3. And 3 is divisible by 3. That makes the whole number divisible by 3. So, letter D, wala na akong makakita ang ibang factors ng 211 other than 1 and itself, or other than 1 and 211. So the only prime number here is 211. So that is the answer. The sum of the prime factors of 140, A9, B12, C14, letter D 15. The correct answer is 14. So we need to get the prime factorization of 140. So you can split 140 into 14 times 10. And 14 can be 2 times 7. And 2 and 7 are prime numbers. 10 can be 2 and 5, or 2 times 5. So 2 and 5 are already prime numbers. So the prime factorization of 40, or 140, is 2 times 2 times 5 times 7. Therefore, the prime factors of 140 are 2, 5, and 7. So if you are going to add them, 2 plus 5 plus 7, and that would be equivalent to 14. So that's why we are given letter C. What is the smallest number which can be exactly divided by 18, 27, and 15? The correct answer here is 270. So, ang ibig sabihin lang nito, gusto nating makuha yung number na pag divide mo by 18, eksakto. Or pag divide mo by 27, eksakto. Or divide mo by 15, eksakto. So, we are just trying to find the least common multiple of 18, 27, and 15. So we need to find the LCM of 18, 27, and 15. And the prime factorization is still or can be used here. So 18 is equivalent to 2 times 3 times 3. 27 equals 3 times 3 times 3. 15 is 3 times 5. And then we get the greatest common factor. Ito yung greatest common factor niya. So you are given 3. And we have also another common factor dito. We are going to include that. And then the remaining will be, or the remaining factors will be multiplied. So we have 3 times 3 times 2 times 3 times 5. So that will be equivalent to 270. John and Bob are cycling on a track. Bob completes one lap every 12 seconds and John completes one lap after 15 seconds. When will Bob lap John? Assuming that they started together. Or ibig sabihin, kailan ba magsasabayan sila? Okay, so the correct answer is letter D. What we are going to do is just to try to find the LCM of 12 and 15. So we need to get the prime factorization again. 12 can be 12 times 2 times 3. 15 can be 3 times 5. And if you notice, we have here 3 as the greatest common factor or common factor. So you are going to include that. And then the rest will be multiplied. So 3 times 2 times 2 times 5 will give you 60 or 60 seconds. And 60 seconds is equivalent to 1 minute. Okay, the absolute value of negative 3 minus the absolute value of negative 4 minus the absolute value of negative 5 is equal to what? So in this case, the answer is letter C, or 6. Now, the absolute value of negative 3 is positive 3. The absolute value of negative 4 is positive 4. And the absolute value of negative 5 is positive 5. Now, itong mga minus na ito, itong minus na yan, ay ito lang naman siya. Okay? So you just copy that. Then after that, we simplify the numbers. Or we add or we subtract the numbers. 3 minus 4 minus 5 will give us, ito muna, 3 minus 4 will give us negative 1 minus 5. And then negative 1 minus 5 is negative 6. So absolute value of negative 6 will give you a positive 6. Which of the following numbers satisfies the inequality 2/3 is less than 1 over x is less than 3/4? Now, there's a concept that if you are given a over b is less than c over d, then b over a, or the reciprocal, b over a is greater than d over c. In other words, we need to change the sign from less than, magiging siyang greater than. So, for example, diba alam natin na ang 1/2, halimbawa, is less than 3/4. Kasi ang 1/2 is 0.5 at ang 3/4 ay 0.75. Diba? Kaya lang, pag binaligtad mo na yan, ginawa mong reciprocal, 2 over 1 and then 4 over 3. So 2 is greater than 4 over 3 because this is actually 1 and 1/3. Okay? So, yung 2 is greater than 1 and 1/3. So, ganun ang ibig sabihin niya. So, pag binaliktad natin ang 2/3, ang 1 over x, and 3/4, we are given 3 halves is greater than x, and x is greater than. Okay? So, yon. Now, ang 3 over 2 is equivalent to 1.5. Ito naman, ang equivalent nito is 1.3333 or say 1 and 1/3. So definitely, yung 3/5 wala na yan kasi less than 1 yan. Yung letter C wala na din because that is less than 1. So ang kailangan na lang natin is 5 over 3. But 5 over 3 is equivalent to 5 divided by 3, you are given 1, 3 equals 2/3. So 1 and 2/3 or 1.6. So 1.666, dito na siya, lagpas na siya dito. Okay? Lagpas na siya dito. Ay hindi, sorry. Lagpas na siya dito sa 3 halves. Okay, sa 3 halves. So, hindi siya pwede. Because, kung ilalagay natin dito is 1.666, 1.5 is greater than 1.666 is false. So, hindi pwede. So, wala na itong letter B. 10 over 7 is equivalent to 10 divided by 7. So, 1. So, 7. Then, subtract. So, 3. Add ka ng decimal. Bring down 0. So, sabihin natin this is 4. Kasi 4 times 7 is 28. Then, you are given 20. Sabihin natin this is 2. So, huwag na natin tapusin. But the point is, that is 1.4 or 1.42. So, 1.5 is greater than 1.42. And 1.42 is greater than 1.33. So, the answer must be letter D. Okay? So, ganun ang sistema niya. Next problem. Okay. Which of the following lists, which of the following list the numbers 3 over 8, 4 over 11, and 5 over 13 in increasing number or increasing order? Please take note, same process po, no, yung kanina. You can divide 3 by 8, and if you divide by 3 by 8, it will give you 0.375. You can divide 4 over 11, and that will give you, you can divide 4 by 11, you can have 0.363636. And then you can divide 5 by 13, so you are given 0.3846. So definitely, if you are going to arrange that in increasing order, so mauuna po ito. Susunod po dito ay ang 3 over 8. Ito yung susunod or last, 5 over 13. You are given 4 over 11, 3 over 8, 5 over 13. In one senior class, 1/3 of the students are honor students. Of these honor students, 2/7 are varsity athletes. If there are 4 athletes in the class, how many students are there in the class? So the answer to this problem is letter A. Now, how did we get 42? So this is now the solution. Let T be total number of students, and 1/3 of the total number of students are honor students. And 2/7 of the honor students are varsity players or varsity athletes. And there are 4 athletes in that class. So the equation is 2/7 times 1/3 n equals 4. Then you multiply. We have 2 times 1 is 2, 7 times 3 is 21. So you are given 2/21n equals 4. Then you multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 2/21. So we have 21/2 times 2/21n and 4 times 21/2. Now, we can actually cancel this. Cancel mo na lang ito at ang matitira is n. But here, we can have also 4 times 21. So, you are given 84. Then, divide by 2. So, that will give us, or we are given 42 as the total number of students. Alright, next problem is, what is the average of 1/2, 1/4, and 1/3? We know the meaning of average means you are going to add all the terms and then divide the number of terms. Okay? So the answer here is 13/36. So, paano yan nakuha? Ito po ang gagawin natin. So, add ang 1/2, ang 1/4, at yung 1/3. And then we divide by 3 because we have only 3 terms. And then we can get, or we can use the LCD. The LCD between 2, 4, and 3 is 12. Just like 12 divided by 2 is 6 times 1 will give you 6. Then 12 divided by 4 is 3. Divide by 1 or multiply by 1, you are given 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4 times 1 will give you 4. So, eto siya. Then you divide by 3. Then add 6 plus 4 is 10 plus 3 is 13 over 12 all over 3. The next, just copy 13/12 and then multiply the reciprocal of 3. And the reciprocal of 3 is 1/3. Yon. And then therefore, we are given 13/36. Then 13/36 can be, I cannot be simplified anymore. So therefore, our final answer is 13/36. Okay, let's proceed now to our next problem. We have a certain pole cast a shadow 24 feet long. At the same time, another pole 3 feet high casts a shadow 4 feet long. How high is the first pole, given that the heights and shadows are in proportion? So the answer here is letter C, which is 18 feet. Now, let us try to draw the figure in order for us to see clearly the problem. So we have here the height of the pole, and then we have 24 feet as the shadow of the first pole. The second pole naman, we have 3 feet ang height, 4 feet yung shadow. They are in proportion. It seems that they are similar triangles. Then the corresponding parts must be proportional, or corresponding sides must be proportional. So h/3 is equal to 24/4. Then we can actually cross multiply here. Ito lang ay cross multiply natin na 3 and 24. So we have here h equal 3 times 24. And multiply and divide, we are given 18. Okay? So one way of multiplying or dividing this, ito, simplify na muna before ka mag-multiply. Like 24 is divisible by 4. 24 divided by 4 is 6. 3 times 6 will give you 18. If a car travels 96 miles on liters of gas, how far can the car travel on a full tank of gas that holds 20 liters. So A, 230 miles, B, 235 miles, C, 240 miles, D, 245 miles. Correct answer is 240 miles. So, paano kaya ito? Now, please take note na ito po na klase ng problem is a problem on ratio and proportion. Okay? So, 96 miles corresponds to 8 liters. So, therefore, let us try to consider D as the distance traveled for 20 liters. Okay? And after that, we can now multiply 96 or cross multiply 96 and 20. So I give a 96 and 20 all over 8 equals D. And then multiply mo lang ang 96 at 20. And then after that, you divide it by 8. It will give you 240 miles. Okay? Another way is, you can actually multiply divide 96 by 8. And 96, if you divide 96 by 8, so you are given 1, 8, you are given 16, so 2. So in other words, this is actually 12. So 96 divided by 8 is 12. Then just multiply 12 by 20 will give us 240 miles. Alright, next problem. Another ratio and proportion problem. A recipe which is good for 4 persons calls for two-thirds cup of milk. How much milk will be needed by a recipe for 6 persons? So in other words, sa 4 na person, by the way, the answer here is 1 cup. Now, sa 4 na persons, you can consume 2/3 cup of milk. Kung 6 na persons na, ilang milk ang kayang ma-consume or kailangan? So, ito po yung sistema niya. So, you cross-multiply this, ito. So, you are given, by the way, you can cross-multiply also 4 and m. So, you are given 4m equals 2/3 times 6. Ito po, 6 divided by 3 is actually 2. So, 2 times 2 is 4. Then, you are given 4m equals 4. Then, you divide both sides by 4 para ma-isolate natin yung m. So, m equals 1. 1 cup, actually. Yan ang ibig sabihin niya. Alright, next problem. Next problem, if a certain job can be finished by 18 workers in 26 days, how many workers are needed to finish the job in 12 days? This is another kind of proportion problem, but different from the previous example because this is an example of inverse proportion or indirect proportion. So, iba yung solution niya dito. So, the answer here is letter C. So, paano ang solution dito? Ang 18 workers daw, 18 workers daw, kaya magtrabaho for 26 days. Now, assuming W are the number of the workers, ilang workers ang idadagdag mo or ipapatrabahoin mo para matapos for 12 days? Okay, for 12 days. So, this is now your equation. 18 times 26 equals W times 12. Divide both sides by 12. So, you cancel this. So, matitira mo W equals 39. Okay? So, 39. Now, one way is simplify first before you multiply. For example, ang 18 at ang 12 are both divisible by 6. So, 12 divided by 6 is 2. Ito, 18 divided by 6 is 3. Sunod naman, yung 26 is divisible by 2. So, meron kang 13. So, ito lang ay mamultiply mo. 3 times 13 will give you 39. So, ang ibig sabihin nun, kung ang 18 workers kayang matrabaho for 26 days, magdagdag ka ng workers para matrabaho lang for 12 days. Next problem. Three brothers inherited a cash amount of 120,000 and they divided it among themselves in the ratio of 5:2:1. How much more is the largest share than the smallest share? Okay? So, answer natin dito po ay 60 pesos or sorry, 60,000 pesos. So, paano yon? Una, pag ganito bagay yung problem, as I already discussed to you last time, i-add lang natin yung ratios. 5 plus 2 plus 1, it will give you 8. Tapos ito, i-divide mo sa total. So, you are given 120,000 divided by 8. Ang kalalabasan mo doon ay 15,000. Now, we are asked to find the amount which is largest share than the smallest share. Ang ibig sabihin lang yan, isubtract mo lang yung largest share doon sa smallest share. So, 5 corresponds to the largest share and then 1 corresponds to the smallest share. So, the largest share will be 5 times 15,000 or 75,000. The smallest share is 1 times 15,000 or simply 15,000. And then you get the difference. Okay? I-subtract lang natin yan. 75,000 minus 15,000 will give you 60,000. So in other words, yun yung amount. Yun yung answer sa question, how much more is the largest share than the smallest share? So yun yun. Next problem. What percent of 4 is 3/5 of 8? So, in this case, maganda kung mag-represent ka dito. What percent? Gawin mong X. Please take note that of means multiplication. Okay? Times. And of course, you are given 4. Also, is means equal. And of course, 3/5 times 8. Yan yung magiging equation mo. Anyway, the answer here is 120%. So, ito yung solution niya. So, just follow the equation. What percent of 4, so x times 4, is 3/5 of 8. Yan. Then after that, you are given 4x equals 3 times 8 is 24 divided by 5. Okay? Para maalis natin yung 4, you can multiply both sides by 1/4. Or pwede namang divide both sides by 4. Pwede ganon ang idea. Okay? So, what is 1/4 of 4? Cancel mo lang yan. Matitira mo ay x. Ito naman, alam natin na 24 divided by 4 is 6. So, we are given 6/5. And if we are going to change that to decimal, that is 1.2. And yung 1.2 naman, pag change mo sa percent, it will give you 120%. So, paano yon? 1.2, di ba? Mag-move tayo ng 2 decimal places, 1 and 2. Lagyan mo ng 0 yung space at lagyan mo ng percent. The answer is 120%. Yon. Next problem. If 50% of x is 20, what is 30% of x? So, parang ganito rin ulit. Ang 50% is 0.5 times x is 20. Question is, what is, sabihin natin blanco na lang yung what? What is 0.3 times x? Okay? So, the answer is 12. Why 12? Ito po ang solution. Okay, so if you follow this equation, ito lang naman siya. 0.5x equals 20. Then we divide both sides by 0.5. Ika-cancel mo lang yan. So x equals 40. Now, question is, saan galing yung 40? Alam natin na 20 over 0.5 is equal to 200 all over 5. Parang pag nag-move ka ng 1 decimal place, mag-add ka dito ng 0. Ngayon, yung 200, bahala na kayo mag-divide dyan. Ang lalabas dyan ay 40. So, ngayon, meron na tayong 40. Oh, ano ang 30% ng x? Eh, ang x, 40 na eh. So, 0.3 times 40 will give us will give us 12. So, the answer is 12. Okay? By the way, 40 times 0.3, 0, 12, isang decimal place yan. You move one decimal place, so 12 lang ang sagot natin. Alright? Okay, next problem. If the area of one circle is twice of another circle, what is the ratio in percent of the smaller to larger circle? So, answer natin dito is letter B, which is 50%. So, area 1, or meaning the area of the first circle, is pi r squared. And then, area 2, which is the area of the second circle, is twice the area of another circle. So, you are given 2 times pi r squared. Question is, what is the ratio in percent of the smaller to larger circle? So obviously, this is the smaller, this is the larger. So if you get the ratio of them, so a sub 1 over a sub 2 equals pi r squared divided by 2 pi r squared. You can just cancel this. Parang matitira mo dyan ay, understood po ito na mayroong factor na 1. So matitira mo is 1 half. And 1 half is 50%. Next. Okay, next problem. A store reduced the price of a computer by 20% and sold it for 56,400. How much did the computer originally for? The answer here is letter C, 70,500. So, paano yung nakuha? I-assume natin na ang P, yun yung original price. Kung ilan man yun, hindi natin alam. So, let P be the original price. Now, the original price, i-minus mo yung discount, ang lalabas doon will be the discounted price, which is 56,400. Then, P minus 0.2 will give you 0.8P, which is equal to 56,400. Please take note that 1 minus 0.2 is just equal to 0.8. That's why you are given 0.8P. Then we divide both sides by 0.8. You just cancel this. At ang lalabas doon, P equals 70,500. So, paano po ito? Yung 56,400 divided by 0.8. It's just like 56,400, add ka lang ng isang zero, pero ito, magiging 8 na siya. Kasi nag-move ka lang ng 1 decimal place, mag-add ka ng isang zero. O, yun. So, your task is to divide this. Ang lalabas doon ay 70,500. 8,000 is invested at 12% simple interest. What is the amount at the end of 2 years? So, the answer for this is letter D, 9,920. The formula that we are going to use is A equals P times the quantity 1 plus R times T. In fact, ang ibang libro, A equals P plus PRT. Okay? Parang distribute na yan, diretso. Okay, wherein of course, P is the principal amount and then yung A, yun yung magiging amount after na malagyan ng percent or ng interest. Okay? So, substitute lang natin. Ang P is 8,000 times 1 plus, ang rate is 12% or 0.12, and T is for 2 years, so we are given 2. Simplify. So 8 times 1 is 8,000, 8,000 rather, times 1 is 8,000. 8,000 times 0.12 times 2 is this. Then, just copy 8,000. Ito, is equivalent to 1,920. Imo-multiply mo lang yan, ha. So, 0.12 times 8,000. Sunod, multiplied by 2. So, ito yung kalalabasan mo. So, you're given 1,920. And then you add. Ang lalabas doon is 9,920. So, in other words, yung 8,000 mo, after 2 years, magiging na siyang 9,920 pesos. Okay, so list the fractions 1 over 9, 2 over 15, and 3 over 15 from least to greatest. Sa choices, wala akong nakikita dyan na 3 over 15. I think it is 3 over 21. Kaya lang doon tayo sa given. So, ito po ay bonus. Okay, bonus ito. Sana merong bonus sa let. Anyway, stick tayo sa given. List the fractions 1 over 9, 2 over 15, and 3 over 15 from least to greatest. So, one way is to use the least common denominator. The least common denominator of 9, 15, and 15 is 45. So, LCD is 45. Paano yon? Kasi yung 9 baga is 3 times 3. Ang 15 is 3 times 5. And of course, 15 also is 3 times 5. So, ito, 3. So, you are given 3 times. Ito, pag-isahin mo na lang, 5. Tapos, yung natitira, times 3. So, ito po, pag multiply mo yan, it will give you 45. That's why the least common denominator is 45. Ngayon, ano ang gagawin mo sa 9 para maging 45? Mag-multiply ka ng 5 sa 9 para maging 45. Kung ano mo minultiply sa denominator, ganun din po sa numerator. So, 1 times 5 is 5. So, ganun din. 2 over 15. Multiply mo ang 2 over 15 by 3 because we want the denominator to be 45. So, 3 times 15 is 45. So, multiply mo rin sa taas ng 3. So, you are given 6. Ito rin naman, multiply mo ulit ng 3 over 3. So, it will give you 9 over 45. So, ang question is, list the fraction from least to greatest. So, mauna ito, pangalawa ito, pangatlo ito. Okay? So, the answer or the arrangement is 1 over 9, 2 over 15, 3 over 15. The next problem. Which is the equivalent common fraction of the repeating decimal 3.24, 24, 24, and so on and so forth? So, the answer here is letter A, 107 over 33. So, paano yung ginawa? I believe I discussed the technique to you. Kinuha ko lang muna yung repeating decimal. Hindi ko sinama ang whole number. So, ang nare-repeat dyan ay 24, 24, 24. So, 2 digits. So, what you are going to do is to divide 24 by 99. And then you simplify. 24 is divisible by 3. So, 24 divided by 3 is 8. 99 divided by 3 is 33. Okay po? So, in other words, itong fraction na 0.24, 24, 24 is equal to 8 over 33 lang naman. Ngayon, i-add natin yung whole number. So, 3 plus 8 over 33 or just the same as 3 and 8 over 33. So, we have 107 over 33. Paano nakuha yun? 33 times 3 is 99. 99 plus 8 is 107. Then copy the denominator 33. So the answer is letter A. Next problem. Benjamin received his report card with the following grades: 93, 88, 80, 86, and 89. Ano yung average grade? Alam naman natin na ang average niyan, add mo lang yung mga numbers, tapos divide mo by the number of terms. Okay? In this case, you are given 93 plus 88 plus 80 plus 86 plus 89. Bahala na po kayo mag-add dyan. Ang lalabas po doon ay 436. Then divide by 5. Ang lalabas mo is 87.2. Okay? But ang point 2, okay, ang point 2 or 0.2 is just the same as 2 over 10. Diba? Kasi one decimal place lang yan. So, 2 over 10 or simply 1/5. So, yon. So, in other words, ang 87.2 is just the same as 87 and 2 over 10 or 87 and 1/5. So, sa choices, wala. Ang final answer natin dapat ito. Okay? So, ano mangyari? Bonus. Yan. Kadalawa na kayong bonus. Next problem. What value of x will satisfy the equation 5x plus 7 equals 3x minus 9? Okay, the answer here is letter D. X equals negative 8. So, anong nangyari? Just copy the given. Transpose mo ang 3x sa kabila. So, from positive, magiging negative 3x siya. Yung positive 7, transpose mo din sa kabila. From positive, magiging negative. 5x minus 3x is 2x. Ito naman, same ang sign. So, you are going to add and copy the common sign. So, negative 16. Then, divide both sides by 2. You cancel this. So, x equals, meron palang presentation. So, just divide both sides by 2. So, x equals, negative 16 divided by 2 will give you negative 8. So, yun po siya. Which of the following numbers is not composite? Meaning, prime. Sa letter A, 57 is divisible by 3 because 5 plus 7 is 12 and 12 is divisible by 3. Therefore, composite yan. 103, ang factors niya, 1 and 103 lang. Wala nang iba. So, prime number siya. Samantalang yung 121, perfect square yan 11 times 11. Divisible by 11 yan. So, composite yan. 169 is also a perfect square. Square root ng 169 is 13. Or, that is divisible by 13. So, composite pa rin yan. So, alin lang yung prime natin? That's letter B, 103. Next number, which of the following numbers is divisible both by 4 and 7? So una, please recall that a number is divisible by 4 if the last two digits is divisible by 4. So in this case, 75 is not divisible by 4, then the whole number is not divisible by 4. 82 is not divisible by 4, so the whole number is not divisible by 4. 89 is not divisible by 4, so the whole number, 189, is not divisible by 4. But 96 is divisible by 4. So, wala tayong ibang mapipili dyan kundi ito. Kaya lang, hindi pa natin nagagamit ang 7. How do we know if a number is divisible by 7? So, assuming ito, 196. Ang gagawin natin, yung units digit na 6, ihiwalay mo. So, 19, tapos ihiwalay mo yung 6. Always divided by 2. So, 2 is a constant. And then, isubtract mo ang 19 doon sa 6 times 2. So, ano lalabas dyan? 19 minus 12. And 19 minus 12 equals 7. So, 7 is divisible by 7. Therefore, 196 is also divisible by 7. So, ibig sabihin nun, 196 is divisible by 4 and at the same time, divisible by 7. Next. By the way, the answer is, of course, letter D. Three numbers are in the ratio 2:5:7. If the biggest of the three is 140, what is the sum of the three numbers? Answer natin dito is 280. So how did you get 280? So 2 corresponds to A, 5 corresponds to B, and 7 corresponds to 140. So please take note that 7 can be multiplied by 20 to get 140. So ganun din ang gawin. Yung 5, i-multiply mo rin ng 20. So 5 times 20 will give you 100. And then 2 can be multiplied by 20 to get A. So 2 times 20 is 40. So the value of A here is 40. The value of B is 100. Ngayon, i-add mo lang sila. 40 plus 100 plus 140, ang kalalabasan mo po doon is 280. So this is our final answer. Problem 300 is 80% of what number? So if you are going to follow the equation, 300 means equal 0.8 times what number? So assuming the number is n or say x. Okay? So answer natin dito is 375. So if you follow the equation, 300 is 80% times x. Okay? Then we divide both sides by 0.8. I-cancel mo lang yan. Matitira mo is x. And 300 divided by 0.8 is 375. So paano yon? Alam naman natin na ang 300 divided by 8, mag-move lang tayo ng 1 decimal place, magiging na siyang 8. Ito dito. But if you move 1 decimal place going to the right, add ka ng isang 0. So, ang i-divide mo na ngayon ay 3,000 by 8. 3,000 divided by 8. At lalabas doon is 375. Alright, next problem. Okay, the size of a quadrilateral are in the ratio 1:3:5:7. If the perimeter of the quadrilateral is 64 centimeters, what is the length of the second longest side? So the perimeter means the sum of the sides of the quadrilateral. So same process. By the way, the answer is letter C, 20 centimeters. Same process. Add mo lang yung ratio, 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7. So, we'll give you 16. 7 plus 3 is 10. 5 plus 1 is 6. So, you are given 16. Then, i-divide lang natin ang total or ang perimeter, which is 64, by 16. Galing dito yon. And it will give you 4. Yan. Question is, what is the length of the second longest? So, obviously, the second longest will be or will corresponds to 5. Diba? Corresponds to 5. This is the longest. Second to the longest. This is the shortest. So, doon tayo sa second longest. So, multiply lang natin ang 5 by 4. Which will give us 20 centimeters. That's it. If there are 12 inches in a foot, how many inches are there in 3.75 feet? Okay, so letter B is the answer. We have 45. So again, sabi dito, 1 foot is equivalent to 12 inches. So to convert this to inches, 375 feet, i-multiply mo lang yan by 12 inches divided by 1 foot. Ngayon, bakit hindi pwedeng baliktad? Bakit hindi pwedeng 1 foot over 12 inches? Because we want to cancel this. Dapat merong sa taas at merong sa baba para ma-cancel. At ang sa taas, kung ano yung gusto mong i-convert. Diba? I-convert natin how many inches. So, inches should be at the numerator. So, meron ka ng 3.75 times 12. You just multiply that, it will give us 45. And then, ano na lang ang matitira mo unit of measurement? Which of the following statements is or are true about quadrilaterals? 1, they are polygons of 4 sides. 2, they have 2 diagonals. 3, at least one pair of their opposite sides are parallel. Ang sagot natin dito is letter A. Polygons have 4 sides and then they have 2 diagonals only. For number 3, not all the time a quadrilateral have one pair of opposite sides which are parallel. May chance na totoo yan. May chance nga na dalawang pares opposite sides na parallel. Pero may chance or may time na wala yan na number 3. Example ito. We call this one as general quadrilateral. Okay? Ang general quadrilateral does not necessarily mean na may pares dyan na parallel sides. Okay? But definitely, 4 sides siya. May dalawa siyang diagonals, yung kulay pula. But if you notice also that opposite sides are not parallel or pair of opposite sides are not parallel. So the answer is letter A. How do you express 3 less than twice a number is 10 in a mathematical expression? So susundan lang natin. 3, ang less than means minus. Ang twice means 2 times. Ang number mo is x. Is means equal. And 10 is the number 10. But we should be careful with this less than. We interchange the position of 3 and 2x. So, ang ano mo dyan, ito dapat. 2x minus 3 is 10. So, 3 less than twice the number is 10. Next. The sum of 5 consecutive odd integers is 105. What is the value of the largest number? Answer here is letter D. Now, yung pinakamadali na lang gawin natin, na pag ganito bagang situation, last time, ang ginagawa natin, kinukuha natin yung sum, which is 105, and then we divide it by 5. Saan galing yung 5? Doon sa sum of 5 consecutive number, or 5 consecutive. Kung 3 consecutive, then divide by 3. Kung 4 consecutive, divide by 4. But since sum of 5 consecutive odd integers, then divide by 5. Now, if we divide 105 by 5, the answer is 21. Always think that that is the middle. Okay, that is the middle. So, 21 ang middle. Susunod mo ay, before 21, you have 17 and 19. After 21, you have 23 and 25. Now, ito yung napili natin because we are talking about odd integers. Okay? So, therefore, anong question? Ano ang value ng largest number? The largest number is 25. Right. Age problem naman po tayo. Currently, the age of Colleen is 1/3 of the age of her mother. If she is P years old now, how old will her mother be in 5 years in terms of P? Okay, wala muna. First is we represent the age of Colleen as P. But P now. The mother will be 3P. Okay? Kasi nga po, ang nakalagay dito, ang age ni Colleen is 1/3 of the age of the mother. Okay? 1/3 of the age of the mother. In other words, 3 times the age of Colleen will be the age of the mother. P si Colleen. So 3 times P will be the age of the mother. So in 5 years, the Colleen will be P plus 5. Pero si mother will be 3P plus 5. Okay? 3P plus 5. So answer is letter D. Okay, next. Okay, next problem is about distance problem. Two buses traveling in opposite directions started from the same point at exactly 2 o'clock p.m. One of the buses has a speed of 60 kilometers per hour, while the other runs at 55 kilometers per hour. How far apart will the two buses be for 12 p.m.? Meaning, how far will be the two buses at 4 o'clock and 12 p.m.? Okay, the correct answer here is 53 kilometers. Paano po ba yon? Ito po yung figure natin. So, nagsimulang 2 p.m., nag-travel yung bus A at nag-travel yung bus B sabay. Of course, we do not know their distances, so we denote it D1 and D2. And the total distances or total distance will be from this point to this point. Kaya lang, magsimulang 2 p.m. hanggang 4:12 p.m., the travel time is 2 o'clock or 2 hours rather and 12 minutes. Okay? 2 hours and 12 minutes. And 12 minutes can be converted into decimal like 12 over 6 para sila divisible by 12. So you can say 12 divided by 12 is 1, 60 divided by 12 is 5, or simply 0.2. Okay? 0.2. So the travel time or the time traveled by two buses will be 2 hours and 12 minutes or 2.2 hours. Okay? So yun yun. Now, the distance 1 is equivalent to 60 times 2.2. Galing po yan sa formula na D equals R times T. Distance is equal to rate, which is 60, yung isa. 2.2 is the time traveled by bus 1. So, if you multiply 60 by 2.2, it will give you 132. Then, distance 2 is 55 kilometers, or you can say, 55 kilometers per hour times 2.2. Ang lalabas doon is 121. But the total distance is D1 plus D2. So, 132 plus 121 will give us 253. So, that's it. All right, next problem. The given set of data 33, 34, 34, 35, 36, 37, 37, 38 can be classified as Answer is bimodal. Now, the given set of data is called bimodal because there are two modes, 34 and 37. In other words, 37, nag-appear siya tatlong beses. At yung 34, nag-appear din ng tatlong beses. So, dalawa ang modes natin. Okay? So, ang tawag natin dyan ay bimodal. Next problem. What is the probability of getting a jack in a standard deck of cards? Please take note that there are 4 jacks: the spade, the clubs, the hearts, and diamonds. The spade, pamaypay; clubs, kalunggay; of course, hearts and diamonds. And there are 52 cards in a deck. So, ang probability of getting a jack in a standard deck of cards will be 4 over 52, or if you are going to get the lowest term, that is 1 over 13. How many 3-digit numbers can be formed from the numbers 3, 4, 7, and 8? Our answer here is 24. Now, we are going to use the so-called fundamental counting principle. Ano po ba ito? Sa 3 digits ang pinag-uusapan, di ba? 3 digits. So, this is the first digit, this is the second digit, and this is the third digit. Okay? Sa first digit, 4 ang pwede mong pagpipilian. 3, 4, 7, and 8. Ngayon, napili mo ng isa dyan. Assuming ang napili mo is 8. So, ang second digit mo, ang pagpipilian mo na lang, 3. So, that would be 3, 4, and 7. Okay? Now, assuming, pinili mo 7. So, we have 8, we have 7. Kaya, for example, dito naman, ang choices mo, dalawa na lang. Pagpipilian mo lang yan, 3 and 4. So, in other words, we have 4 choices sa first digit, 3 choices doon sa second digit, and then 2 choices na lang sa third digit. So, ang gagawin lang natin doon is to multiply. 4 times 3 times 2 is equal to 24. That is our final answer. Parehas lang ito doon sa unang example. In how many ways can you arrange 6 books in a shelf if it has a space only for 4 books? Okay? So, meron kang 6 na books, pero ang shelf mo, 4 lang ang space para lang sa 4 na libro. Okay? So, ang sagot natin dito ay 360. We are going to use again the fundamental counting principle. So, 6 times 5 times 4 times 3. It will give you 360. Bakit kanyo? Kasi 4 lang ang space. 4 lang ang space. 6 yung libro. So, unang choice mo, 6. Yung pangalawang lalagyan, since kumuha ka na ng isa, 5 na lang ang natitira. So, 5. Yung pangatlong lalagyan, kumuha ka na ng 2, 4 na lang yung natitira, 4 na lang pagpipilian mo. And so on and so forth. Then, just get the product of these numbers. You are given 360. Which is a proportion. Of course, to determine if it is a proportion, you can just use the idea of the product of the means is equal to the product of the extremes. Okay? the product of the means is equal to the product of extremes. Ano ba yan? For example, ito, 7 times 5 is 35. Then, product of the extremes, 1 half times 2 is 1. O, hindi naman sila equal. Hindi sila proportional. Ganon din doon. 5 times 12 is 60. 4 times 10 is 40. So, hindi siya proportional. 3 times 16, 48. 8 times 9, 72. Not a proportion. But here, 4 times 5 is 60. 5 times 12 is also 60. Proportional. Therefore, the answer for letter A, for this problem, is letter A. Next problem. Okay, next problem of the following, which is greatest. So, one of my solutions is just to divide the numerator by the denominator. For example, ang 3/4 is just equivalent to 0.75. 5 over 7 is just equivalent to 0.71. Ang 6 over 9 is just equal to 0.6666. And if you divide 7 by 10, it will give you 0.7. So, definitely and obviously, the greatest number is 3/4 or 0.75. Okay? So, that's it. Problem. 72 is 3/4 of what number? So, same process. 72 is 3/4 times the number n, or you can say the number x. Okay? Our answer here is 96. Okay, so equation is 72 is equal to 3/4 x. You just multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 3/4 in order to cancel 3/4. Just like this. You cancel this, you cancel this. What remains is x. Then after that, ito naman, yung 72 multiply mo sa 4/3. So 4 times 72 is 288. Then you divide by 3. So the value of x equals 96. So this is your final answer. Or another way, if you are given 4/3 times 72, you divide first. 72 by 3. Okay, ilan ang 72 by 3? So 72 divided by 3, so 2, 6, 12. So you are given 4. So 72 divided by 3 is 24. And then just multiply 24 by 4. Ang lalabas mo po doon is 96. Next problem. Which value of x is in the solution set of the equality negative 2x plus 5 equals 17? So, ito, madali lang ito. Answer here is letter D, negative 6. So, just copy negative 2x plus 5 equals 7. And you transpose 5 to the other side. So, from positive 5, dapat magiging negative 5 siya. Then, negative 2x equals 12 because 17 minus 5 is 12. Divide both sides by negative 2. So, cancel mo yung negative 2. What remains is x equals 12 divided by negative 2 will give you negative 6. That is your final answer. Okay. A ball is drawn at random from a box containing 3 red balls, 4 white balls, and 5 blue balls. What is the probability that it is not blue? Okay, sagot natin dito ay 7 over 12. First and foremost, we need to determine the total number of balls. So 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 12. So the total number of balls is 12. Now, the not blue balls, that means red and white. Ang red is 3, ang white ay 4. So, not blue balls is 3 plus 4 equals 7. So what is the probability that it is not blue? So the probability is 7 all over 12. So this is the final answer. Okay, next. 0.0125 expressed in fraction in lowest term. So the correct answer po is, ito muna yung solution niya. We know that 0.0125 is 125 over 10,000. Saan galing po yon? Nag-move tayo ng 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 zeros. So yan po yung 4 zeros. Tapos, alisin mo na itong dalawang zeros because not significant na yan. So we have only 125. So 125 over 1,000. And if you get the lowest term, that would give you 1 over 80. So the final answer is letter D. So, paano yung kukunin? Kung gusto mo, pwedeng i-divide mo ang 125 by 5, tas 10,000 by 5, tapos dire-diretso. Divide mo ulit by 5 hanggang sa maging lowest term siya. So, this is your final answer. Okay, thank you very much. That would be all for today. Good luck in your exam. Always pray. You are so close to the victory. Don't you dare give up now. Goodbye. Thank you.